Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War Judgment Aftermath, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 4 of 6. It is entitled One Step Closer. So I am coming into the stage with the long shot, and at the beginning of the walkthrough I mentioned that I was trying to test something. What I was trying to test is going to appear, well, at least it will be in the next zone. But suffice to say, what I was trying to do is trying to hit some sniper enemies, one-shot enemies. I'm sorry, one-shot. You know how in Gears of War sometimes they have enemies that are just really far away from you, and you're just wishing that you had the ability to snipe them with a sniper rifle. Well, there's a part coming up where I've been to this chapter before. I've done this campaign a number of times, and every time I came here, I wouldn't have the long shot, and I always wanted to see if I could abrogate the fight, make it shorter by sniping those one-shotters, but it didn't work out, and I'll tell you why it didn't work out in just a moment. Anyway, this fight over here is going to give you a nice little checkpoint in just a moment. There's going to be some rangers walking on over to you, and over to the left there's going to be some enemies that you can attack directly with the turret. But you are going to have to jump on and off the turret because there's going to be... That was really close. There's going to be times when wretches will attack you, as well as enraged ragers. Okay, so now we have a nice checkpoint. The door behind us with that red X on it, that's going to be another spawn point, but it's not going to matter until we get to this next part. So use this to kill anybody that you can real quick. Just remember, you've got those wretches that are going to be coming up the stairs to attack you, as well as those rangers. So in a moment, though, you will have some of the ragers. Excuse me. You'll have ragers down there to deal with, and if you want, you can avail yourself of this mortar. Although I don't know how effective it was in totality, but if it was enough to gib kill any of those ragers down there, then it was definitely worth it, because I just don't like the ragers. I hate them. I mean, I'm talking about the enraged form where they charge you, and I've always felt that they have too much HP, and they do. Let's just face it, they have too much fucking HP. It's not fair, especially on the Judgment boss fight. And I'm ranking the Judgment boss fight alongside the Gears of War 3 boss fight and the Vanquish bosses. I think it's that difficult. Now, other people might disagree, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm telling you, the hell of those bosses is all comparable. It really is. It's bad. It's not fair. It's not fun, and it just some of the hardest fights I've ever done in games. Maybe I'm forgetting some other ones, but yeah, Gears of War 3. Gears of War 3, when you don't get that glitch where every once in a while when you fight the Gears of War 3 boss, you get this lucky spawn where you don't get any of the Therons in the fight. And every time that happened to me, I would reset, because that's not representative of what actually happens during that fight. Did you see that door that I put a grenade in front of? They're going to come out, but it's kind of strange to get this spawn to work. You have to come over here first, and then you'll get eventually a cutscene, and then they'll come out. Who exactly is coming out? at least one ranger and some other, miscellaneous enemies. But I hate to bring this up too, but I remember way back, like in 2012, the Wiki Game Guides channel doing the Gears of War 3 boss and John Tarr doing it. He actually, if you watch his Gears of War 3 boss fight, he didn't get any of the Therons that one time. So it just happens that you get it. And like I said, anytime that happened to me, I would reset it, because it's not ethical to me to have that represented. Even though it can happen occasionally, you just can't count on it to happen and have people get helped by it if you have no Theron guards running around and everybody else is getting torqued to Kingdom Come. You know what I'm saying? But that really isn't to diminish anything about the individual. I just think that it's kind of a judgment call. Speaking of judgment, this game judges you quite a lot. And I remember hating Judgment when it came out. But I think the most vocal people that hate Judgment, they still enjoy the single-player campaign. I think the single-player campaign is fantastic. This game is fantastic, too. It really feels like Gears, made by a studio that is not even Epic Games at the time. And they did a fantastic job. They did a beautiful job, too, if I have to say. I personally don't like Baird as a protagonist, but it is nice that you get to switch up your characters. Anyway, I'm going to drop the Lancer just right now to pick up a sawed-off. And this sawed-off is going to be for the Ragers, because there are going to be some Ragers. Now, when you come up here, I don't think you get a checkpoint quite yet. I'm not looking to keep this sawed-off, by the way. I want to just use this for protection against the enraged Ragers. This is one of my favorite chapters, too. I've always looked back on this chapter with a special fondness. I really enjoy this. Anyway, you are going to have some of these Retro Lancer enemies. Now, up and to the left is where we need to go. But to get over there, you have to go over to the right. And I finally figured out where these goddamn Ragers spawn from. Up and to the left. The area that you exit out of, up and to the left. I'm sorry I can't be more specific. But they just come charging. And they're not Ragers to begin with. They're already in their second form. So, and there is, though, I've seen one regular Rager in the next room. I might even have it on here that I get a headshot on him. I don't think so, though. But this is notorious for having some Ragers. And the sawed-off shotgun has incredible amount of damage output. And I really like, and I appreciate so much the fact that you get to shoot this thing twice. Anyway, there's a Lancer. I'm going to come back to that once I take out these Ragers. There's a breach shot over there, so if that was dropped, you know who dropped it. Anyway, look down the hall. There's like 3 of them. 2 or 3 of them. This thing's so effective at killing the Ragers. If you hit them, if you don't miss like me. Okay, let's drop the sawed off because we don't need that anymore. And this next section is the one that I was mentioning earlier in the video about my wanting to test it out. And what's going to happen is you're going to get almost killed by a one-shotter. And Baird's going to say something like they're out of range, forget them. What's then going to happen is they are out of range even with the long shot at first, but if you push up far enough, you'll be able to hit them. And guess what? They spawn indefinitely. So don't even try to kill them. It was kind of a letdown to me, but I'm glad that I was able to confirm it. Because there's always a lingering mystery to me. I was so let down, though. Imagine thinking you can kill these 3 or 4 enemies, and then they keep coming and coming and coming. Like they never ever stop spawning. So it's funny, and it's a little ridiculous that I didn't suspect that they would respawn. I never imagined that they would, because they're one-shot enemies, you know. Anyway, I don't even know if I'm gonna aim at these guys to show you where they are. Nah, not even worth it. They're in the distance there. There's one in a building. There's a couple down below. Someone's gonna throw a grenade over here, and then there's gonna be a digger coming down from the back there over in the left corner. And just be careful, because he'll usually shoot his digger before you can kill him. Although my teammates put him down, thankfully. And now you've got quite a ways to go without a checkpoint, but this is very fun. And the checkpoint that you get coming up, I don't think they needed to give it to you, honestly. But I think what it was is that they were separating a couple of areas, and they were checkpointing it for like resource conservation. I'm not sure, but okay. So in this room, there's 1 or 2 drones. They're probably not called drones. I'm not sure what they are, but they're the ones from Gears 3. A couple in this room. So what I did though was I crossed the way, and then I immediately fell back so that I can deal with those guys from the safety of that other building. And then there's the aforementioned digger, and then we can pick this digger up. I don't always look in every nook and corner on this as well, so I believe you can go 2 ways over here. You can go forward, or you can go down this little path over here. This game is pretty good for having divergent paths and different areas you can visit, and conversations that will pop up, or occur, that will trigger when you get to certain areas. People will comment on different things on your team. Like you'll get to just different areas, and you'll see bodies on the ground, and you'll something about how they wanted to expand the world. And they did a good job, because we don't need this game to be open world. Anyway, you're going to get a checkpoint in just a moment's time. Right over here, in fact. There's some grenades immediately to the left. I ran past them. Sorry about that. And then this checkpoint, I don't think it needed to be here, because it's perfectly fine. There are going to be some wretches that greet you up here. Here we go. Just a couple. And then you can take care of these last enemies on this level if you want to. Or the smarter thing to do would be to go up. And there is a long shot up there for you. So that's exactly where we're going to go to. I love this chapter too. And whatever it is, a campaign, a DLC, whatever it is, it's fantastic. It's such a good value, and I think you just get it free when you buy Judgment. There's no, you don't have to pay for it at all. So down here, there's a guy in a turret. Sometimes he won't be on it though, but that's him. And then there's a couple of boomers and ground-based enemies. That was a lucky headshot. I'm not too good at getting headshots under duress. That's why I wasn't too keen on using the Markza on the Judgment final boss, because I watched a lot of videos where people were very skillfully headshotting the Ragers with the Markza, and doing a really great job, much greater job than I could ever do. And there were one person I remember, he said that he was a sniper, like prided himself in being skilled with a sniper. I think I'm fairly good at using the long shot, but under such duress and pressure of that boss fight, I can't do it. I quake under the pressure. And that's why I don't like a boss with a bunch of fucking enemies to help him out. Anyway, This door I'm going to run straight to. If you go over to the right, there's some frag grenades if you want those. And then this is the last section over here. I just did this actually. This was kind of familiar because I've done it recently too. But you have a mini game here that you have to do 4 times in different parts of the building. And while you're trying to do this mini game, if enemies run up to you and attack you like those wretches, you will get killed. I don't think you can jump off, and if you can, you might not be able to jump off in time. Baird will say cover me while he's doing this, but what do you think your teammates are going to do? Do you think they're really going to cover you? They might just stand in the way and accidentally help you. But I did this pretty smoothly, but it did take a couple of tries because I didn't want to just wait for a bunch of lulls in the fight, because I think they do have intentional lulls in the fight so that you can do these without too much risk. I'm taking a lot of risk doing this because you're very vulnerable during this and it goes so slow. But that's the third one. Here's the fourth one over here. Now, do enemies spawn indefinitely here? I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. But I'm pretty sure I remember like last month doing this and having some peace while doing it after I had killed quite a lot of enemies. But here's the last checkpoint. This is really cool actually, because these drones that grapple up to you, if you don't shoot them off, I'll show you exactly where they end up. These ones over here, if you don't shoot and kill these ones, they're gonna end up inside this building. I'll show you right up here. You look up here, you'll see them. It's actually really cool. But you won't have just random enemies spawning in here. It's only those grapplers that if they make it up without you shooting them off, then and only then will they be in the room. So you've got a nice one shot over here. You want to make sure that you don't use so much of it that when the Reaver or Reavers show up, I can't remember, I think it's just one, you want to have at least enough ammunition to kill the Reaver with the one shot, because otherwise it's going to take a long time. So I think, what do they give you, 7 or 8 shots with the one shot? It's enough as long as you're not just using it, you know. Use frags and just be pretty sparing with the one shot, because those Reavers are going to take a long time to kill otherwise. You got to be really careful because the Reaver can shoot a projectile. Oh, there's 2 Reavers. The Reaver can shoot a projectile. The guy on him can shoot a torque bow, and also you've got boomers that can shoot you. So, and everybody else just doing chip fire at you. But is that it? That could possibly be it. All right, I will see you in the 5th chapter. Until then, please take care.
Let's get out of here and light this place up!